charts there for our scene, who's continuously selling records when other people aren't. Why don't you speak on, aside from the actual record sales, like how is it as you as an artist is making money, and how can other artists, what are the other avenues out there for artists to make money nowadays?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the fact that Eclipse waited to go through everybody to get to me last. He illustrated the point that a rule that I violated today, which is, listen, if you're not on time, you're not going to get what you want. If one person is 1 second quicker than you, they will get that opening slot. On that tour, they will get to that person, that DJ or that producer before you. And I think it really depends, because it's difficult to answer that question. I can answer it for me, but really the panel is for everybody here. So it'd be interesting to hear where other people are in terms of their art. When I first came into this business, I was on parole. Eclipse could tell you I was very, much more aggressive and violent dude coming in, like, yo, I'm trying to get this shit on. I was outside with Percy P, forcing people to buy my CDs. You know what I mean? And I think that at some point I had to take a look at where I was at, and the people that had taught me the business were honestly people who will come up with rock and roll, and they told me don't waste your time doing mixtapes, even though those were popping at the time. They said don't waste your time thinking about paying people for something to be on the radio, service your records to college radio, and then just tour. And that helped to build me as an entity and a brand on tour, to the point where people can look up the statistics of where I am in what specific market or what region and say he's good for this much money or this many tickets here and there. I can be packaged with other people. But I think when you talk about touring, it really depends on where you are as a specific artist. If you're a regional artist, then find a way to link with other regional artists. If you have a strong presence in the Northeast, find someone in the South or the Southwest that has that type of presence. Bring that person to New York and Boston and Connecticut, and then you go out to Colorado, New Mexico, and all these other areas. I think that besides just releasing music, it's also important to keep your presence as live on the show scene as possible, because honestly, that's the only thing that I've seen create a spike in terms of my record sales. Even when, after I release a record, it will go up 20% in terms of physical and digital sales based upon the region that I'm in. That's clear statistics that I can point to and be like, that wouldn't be happening if I wasn't touring in this area or this particular place. But again, touring for me is very, E has seen, we just came back from Rock the Bells. It's a complicated game because there are people who have bought the merchandising rights for several venues that you'll be in. So there'll be someone hanging over your shoulder like a fucking vulture that expects to get 25% of your gross revenue without having done anything for you. Now, this is an interesting conversation that they have because their particular perspective is, nah, you know what, I created a venue for you to be in. You'd be performing in the street with a van and speakers attached to it if I didn't have a venue. And at the same time, I come back to them and I say, well, you know what, there might not be as many people here if me and all these other artists are here. And I brought all these other artists here that you're selling overpriced food and water and $20 lemonade to, you know what I mean? So really, I'm not getting a cut of that. I'm not seeing a cut of your parking. I don't see a cut of the Ticketmaster add-ons that you decide to slice on at the last minute for an extra $6 to fuck my fans over. So why should you be able to interpret the amount that you deserve after not pressing anything up or being involved in it in any way, shape, or form? We talked about cutting costs. I pressed up my own material and I have continuously for the past 7 years. I won't let anybody else touch it. And it's only because I had experiences when I went to these major labels in the very beginning when I was still confused about what the hell should I wanted to go in terms of the business. The music I always knew. I realized that the only way I could get my message out is by doing it independently. And when I realized that they were charging people, you know, anywhere from $1.50 to $2 per unit to press it up, and even if that was the case, they would make you buy it for $5. I think to myself, damn, let's say the mean of that is, you know, $1.75, and I get them pressed up for 75 cents. I'm saving $1 a unit from where I press it up. Now, if I pressed up 20,000 copies, at the gate, they've already fucked me for $20,000. If you press up the records yourself, for whatever amount per stack you press up, you've saved $1,000 based upon you pressing it up yourself. And it also shows initiative because it shows people you have a certain amount of marketing dollars or paper period to put behind a project. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe you. You You know what I mean? You walk towards the backstage area asking people where you're supposed to go, they're going to kick you out because they think you don't belong there. You walk through security like, fuck you, it's your job to keep other people besides me out of here. Then they don't say anything to you. You know, it's quite as simple as that. I mean, in terms of other aspects of it, we can get deeper into it, but you know, that's for the discussion.
Can I touch on the point he was talking about with the people taking cuts of your business?
Not mine.
No, well, I'm saying, like, when you go to a venue and they want a percentage of your merch. I won't talk on that because you guys have the experience on that, but just the idea that people will come into the place and say, well, we're offering you X, and so you should give up Y. Well, that's normal capitalism, and we can debate whether or not capitalism is a healthy thing or not on another day, but the idea that new artists or emerging artists should just blanketly give their stuff away for free without a plan in place is a big talking point amongst our community all the time. Whether it's radio stations who are like, you know, you said this guy, he creates this venue and otherwise you wouldn't be able to sell your stuff, you'd be out on the street. It's like, yeah, but I'm creating the programming that brings people into your venue or otherwise you wouldn't have one. Radio stations don't like to pay royalties, and there's a big fight right now in the United States about AM, FM radio having to pay artists royalties when they play music. And the radio stations say, but we offer you promotion. You'd give your left nut to get played on the radio, wouldn't you? And it's like, yeah, we would, but the same thing goes that not in perpetuity with you never compensating them. You know, whether it's, you know, Run DMC or the Beatles or whatever, it's like they keep on playing that music and still not compensating those artists for the airplay. And so we understand the game, that you need to kind of build an audience, and at first you might have to stand outside and try and hustle your stuff, and you might have to give some stuff away. But always have it in mind that you're not giving it away in perpetuity, and you're not signing anything that waives royalties forever. There becomes a day when you want to flip that and start getting paid for the use of your music, because the value of promotion, the value of that venue being created for you, is only as good as the sales end that's available to you afterwards. And if nobody needs to buy your music, then what's the value of promotion? So the promotional vehicles are becoming your income vehicles. The radio stations that play your music, the websites that use your music, the advertisers who use your music, they're going to all try and dumb you down in terms of your fees. They're going to try and say, we don't have budgets, come on, you just want your music on this show. It's promotion, B. And it's like, yeah, but if nobody pays you in the chain, then that promotion's useless.